According to the information reaching me here, and according to a well-documented information from an investigative journalist all the way from Owerri, our elder and also one of the leaders who have in one way or the other agitated for the freedom of Biafrans by name Mazi Ralph Uwazuruike turned himself to the police of Imo State. What happened? He went there and told them that they should instead hold him and release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But trust Nigerian newspapers. Look at what they write here. For you to know that we are dealing with animals, we are not dealing with human beings. And I will not be surprised if other countries are seeing Nigeria as a zoo, the same way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called them. He said police summons Masob leader Ralph Uwazuruike amidst call for Nnamdi Kanu's release. So if you call for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release, then police will summon you. Does it make sense to you? Even yourself that wrote this thing, and I keep on saying it, this NigerianNews.com, they have one reporter, and that reporter is one Yoruba bastard by name Enioluwa Adeniyi on X. What this guy do is to get any news from the southeast, twist it, turn it upside down, and then present it to the international community. But people like me will not close my eyes and close my mouth and think that nothing is happening, just like most of my brothers are doing. Nothing happen when things they happen. When I see this kind of news, I will be the first to rush to debunk it. What really happened is Uwazuruike went to police station and told them that they should hold him. In fact, they should transport him from Owerri down to DSS Abuja. Let them replace Nnamdi Kanu with him. That is exactly what my informant told me. And he will never lie to me because he is an investigative journalist. But anyway, that is by the way. So that don't see him, so that tomorrow they will not gaslight you into believing that police called him for questioning, for calling for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. Okay, why they not have called Sowore or all the whole people who have been flying flag left, right, and center calling for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release, if they are really giving you the news that your heart desires? We know that Boko Haram and ISIS are killing more Muslims than Christians. Trump's advisor. You see, when I make some comments now, some people will come and say, why am I doing this? My brother, America is playing a double-faced game with us. Today, you will come out and say you want to list Nigeria in a particular concern. Then the special advisor to Trump is going to meet Tinubu and also having an interview in NTA, claiming that no, that more Muslims have been killed than Christians. And there's a question I always ask them on X. Anyone who will come out and tell me there's no Christian genocide, give me one reason. I mean, tell me one location in this zoo called Nigeria where Christians have have killed all the whole Muslims living there and then live there. From Western Sahel, that is even the most painful part of it, that people who are doing this are not Nigerians. They will come because they don't have anywhere to go. Just like Governor of Bauchi told us that the only identity they have is just like a Fulani. They are Fulani, that they don't have home. So anywhere where they do well, if they do well in your red, that place becomes automatically their country. It becomes automatically their own, and they are not going to go away from it. You understand? So let me ask this idiot say that he's working for Trump. How many communities that we know they are Muslim communities and then Christian, or let's say Christian jihadists went and bombed everywhere and then take the land from them and rename it? Go to Benue. We have more than 50,000, almost 85% or 90% of Benueans are all living in IDPs for the past 15 good years. Some children were born in IDP, they grew up in IDP in Benue and get married in that same IDP. Where have that happened? In a country that are not fighting war, people are living in IDPs. Then he will come out and tell me that Trump is my brother, they are all working for their own interest. Let us not twist this word. Let us not twist this word. Somebody will come and tell me now that Trump, they are all working for their own interest. If this man should leave everything that he's doing in the US, then come down to Nigeria to come and display nonsense. And then you are telling me that Trump want to sanction Nigeria. Sanction Nigeria where? I beg, make I hear word, Joe. Because once he just do small thing, everybody look at it. Hey, Trump now is going to give us Biafra. Yes, I'm shouting like that before. When they do the good one, I talk. If they do bad one, I will not talk. I'm not gonna see this headline again. Breaking news: issue of terrorists kills army commanders, several soldiers in Borno State. Tell me why they cannot kill army commanders. For those ones who are supporting that bandits should be negotiated and pardoned, the people who are killing these ones now, or rather who give them intel on how to attack these people, are the ones who they see as repented and then they enroll them to the military. Part of the problem that happened in that Borno State is this, in Zamfara State is this, in Yobe State is this. The ones inside the barrack are giving the ones outside, inside the forest, intel on how to attack, when to ambush, and when to carry out their heinous crimes. And when they do it perfectly okay, because they have insider. So they have occupied everywhere. In the church, they are in the church self now. They are in the church. They are in the Muslim. They are in your military. They are in your police. They are in your DSS and everything. And then you tell me, Nigeria will be a better place. On I see the joke for that country. Court don't buy free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's protests around Asorok and National Assembly. Anyway, my people, I beg now you go to start this news. If you get this message, you know what to do. Like, share, comment, and make sure you keep subscribing for more interesting videos coming your way. I will already be here to serve you. The Imo State Police Command, according to what they wrote here, has summoned the leader of the movement for actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, Master of Raf Uwazuruike, to appear before its anti-kidnapping unit, AKU, over allegations of criminal activities. Because the open mouth to call for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu release. Now, he don't have a criminal activities. But the ones who are negotiating with bandits, no criminal activities. Who are appearing with even rocket launchers, no criminal activities. Okay now. Uwazuruike is expected to report to the AKU headquarters in Owerri on Monday, October 20, 2025, the same day that the civil society organizations plan to hold nationwide peaceful protest calling for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. Okay, they want to distract him by not attending that rally or protest. No problem. That is what they wrote here, but let us continue. The police invitation letter dated October 6, 2025 accuses Uwazuruike of criminal invasion, forgery, and willful damage. The letter, jointly signed by ASP John Ebute, ASP Eze Jet, and Inspector Alice Zakari, instructed the Masob leader to appear before the AKU on the specified date. Reacting to the police summons, Masob described the invitation as a possible attempt to prevent Uwazuruike from participating in the planned peaceful protest for Kanu's release. The group issued a statement confirming that Uwazuruike had been directed to report to the AKU by 10 a.m. on October 20. In the statement, Mazi Chris Mocha, Masob Director of Information, relayed Uwazuruike's response to the summons. He was quoted as saying in a recent viral video, "I will be part of any peaceful protest for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release. This is not about Kanu alone, it is about our collective dignity as a people." Uwazuruike expressed his willingness to engage in the protest despite the police invitation, stating that he had no issues with the summons, but recognized it as an attempt to prevent him from participating in the protest. He maintained that he was firm, calm, and unshaken. The Masob leader emphasized that his support for the protest was based on principles of conscience and justice, not confrontation. He retreated that he had consistently advocated for non-violence in Biafra's self-determination struggle, aligning his actions with peace rather than provocative. Moving forward. You know that Boko Haram and ISIS are killing more Christians than Muslims. Christians are Trump's advisor. Now, lie you, the whole world should hear our voice. This is paid actor. They have paid him. Who knows how many crude oil? how many vessels of crude oil? Free they will give to him for him to come out and speak this nonsense. A senior advisor to the U.S. President Donald J. Trump on Arab and African affairs, Massad Bulus, has dismissed claims that Christians are being specifically targeted in Nigeria, arguing that instead that terrorist groups such as Boko Haram and ISIS have killed more Muslims than Christians in the country. In a viral video shared by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA on X, formerly Twitter, on Friday, Bulus addressed the allegations made by some U.S. politicians about religious persecutions in Nigeria, calling them unfortunate and misleading, which is lie. Bulu stated that terrorism in Nigeria is not rooted in religious conflict, but is part of a broader insecurity affecting people from all walks of life. He said any incident, any loss of life is absolutely unfortunate. Those who know the terrain well know that terrorism has no color, no religion, and no tribe. People of all religions and all tribes are dying as a result of terrorist acts. He further elaborated, asserting that Boko Haram and the ISIS are responsible for killing more Muslims than Christians, emphasizing that terrorism affects all Nigerians, regardless of their faith or background. Bulu stated, "We even know that Boko Haram and ISIS are killing more Muslims than Christians, so people are suffering from all sorts of backgrounds. This is not specifically targeted about one group or the other. This is live from the pit of it." Anyway, in conclusion, Nigerian News report that Bulu's comments came and amid a renewed debate in the U.S. following calls by some legislators, including Senator Ted Cruz, for Nigeria to be reclassified as a country of particular concern due to allegations of religious persecution. Senator Cruz accused the Nigerian officials of ignoring and even facilitating the mass murder of Christians by Islamist jihadists. He further alleged that Nigerian Christians were being targeted for their faith and subjected to Sharia and blasphemy laws. In response, Cruz introduced the Nigerian Religious Freedom Accountability Act to the U.S. Senate, which aims to sanction officials deemed responsible for religious violations in Nigeria. Breaking news: ISWAP terrorist kills army commanders, several soldiers in Borno State. A yet to be determined number of Nigerian soldiers, commanders who don't know how much it takes to train a commander. Nigerian army personnel have been killed in an ambush by militants from the Islamic State of West African Province, ISWAP, a faction of Boko Haram in Borno State, according to military source who spoke with Sahara reporters. The victims included Lieutenant Colonel ASP Paiko of the 202 Tank Battalion and Lieutenant Colonel S.I. Iliasu of the 222 Battalion. The attack occurred on Friday, October 17, 2025. While the convoy was en route to Kawuri town, located in Bama local government area, for a military operation aimed at confronting the insurgents. The ones in barracks don't give them insight. Sahara reporters gathered that the convoy come under heavy fire around 9:45 a.m., resulting in the tragic loss of life. While the exact number of casualties remains uncertain, multiple soldiers were reported to have been seriously injured, and several personnel are still unaccounted for. Don't worry, just wait. Now, Defense Secretary will come and debunk these rules now. Let me call it a quit. While I can confirm the death of Lieutenant Colonel Paiko of 202 Battalion, I'm not sure about Colonel Iyasu. However, he was shot, and the last I heard about him was that he was evacuated to the military hospital in Maiduguri. Probably he died on his way to the hospital due to the gunshot wounds. Even as we are talking, casualties still remain unknown. It is so sad, the source explained. Last but not the least, court bans Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's protest around Aso Rock and National Assembly. A federal high court in Abuja has granted an interim injunction restraining Omoyole Sowore and other activists from organizing or participating in the planned October 20 protest calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of indigenous people of Biafra. Nigerian News report that the order follows an ex parte application filed by the federal government represented by the Nigerian Police Force seeking to prevent the demonstration in the Federal Capital Territory FCT. In a ruling delivered by the Justice M.G. Omar, the court prohibited Sowore, the Take It Back movement, the hashtag Revolution Now group, and the person unknown from participating in organizing or promoting the protest. The suit marked FHC/ABJ/2202-2025 resulted in a significant setback for activists planning the demonstration. Confirming the court decision, Sowore, a former presidential candidate, expressed his dismay on social media, alleging that the order was granted in chambers after the judge had previously declined to approve the same request in open court. After initially declining to grant an ex parte motion to stop our planned protest in open court, the judge reportedly granted it in chambers, imposing a ban on protest at Aso Rock, the National Assembly, and the Unity Fountain in Abuja, so said in his post on X. Meanwhile, the United States has issued a travel advisory urging its citizens to avoid the protest locations in the FCT. The warning comes as tensions rise surrounding the planned demonstration. The protest, which gained significant momentum online, was originally organized to demand the immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the custody of the Department of State Service, DSS. In conclusion, background on Kanu's case. Kanu has been in DSS custody since June of 2021, facing charges of terrorism and treasonable felony. His troubles began in October 2015 when he was arrested after returning from the United Kingdom. He was granted bail in April of 2017 on the health grounds, but they invaded his home that led him to flee the country after military invasion of his home in Afereukwu, Ibeku, Abia State. Kanu was rearrested again. Kanu was kidnapped in Kenya in June of 2021 and forcefully extradited to Nigeria. The Federal High Court in April 2022 struck out 8 of the charges against him, but the Court of Appeal ordered his immediate release later that year. However, the Supreme Court reversed the decision in December of 2023, allowing the Fulani government to continue his trial. Kanu's continued detention has sparked widespread public outrage and calls for his release. The October 20 protest aimed at drawing attention to his case was the latest in a series of actions aimed at securing his freedom, but it has only been halted by the court's ruling. So my people, I don't hear the whole thing now, how it take happen. But the most important thing to hold hand there is that Uwazuruike he is ready to trade his own freedom for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release, according to the information reaching me here from a very reliable source. Have a nice day. I'm a regular control to bless us all. Happy Saturday and a happy weekend. It shall be well with all of us. Kachineke mezi okwu.